Assalamualaikum everyone, this is the SIS Talks podcast, episode 2. I am your host Ayan and this is your host Zainab Zaragadisi and Aisha Shahid. And today we have a special guest with us from the class of 2016, Jahan Khan over here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. My name is Jahan, as Ayan explained, and I was class of 2016 here at Scarsdale. I used to once wear a polo just like that, and I used to always say that if you ever wear a polo like that, you're family. And yeah, I did 2014 to 2016 at Scarsdale. I wish I would have done some more, but yeah, that was the 2 years here.
So Jahan, where did you go after Scarsdale and how was your life over here? First you can tell us about your life over here a little bit and then you can tell us where you went after Scarsdale for your undergrad and then your way back to how you came up over here to our podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Life here, it was amazing. It was amazing. As I said, the 2 years that I did here, I think were not enough. I think I made some of my fondest memories here. And I always just say every brick holds a memory. That's how many memories we have here with the teachers, with the students. And yeah, I mean, I did my 11th and 12th grade here. I was in Doha, so I had to come back and continue my education in American high school system. And Scarsdale was one of the options, and that's how I landed here. Did 2 years here, made lots of friends, had lots of good times. And then I remember I graduated, and then I had to go to Canada for my undergrad. I wanted to do BBA. And actually, a teacher from our faculty was the one who actually inspired that, which we can talk about later. But yeah, she pushed me to go into business and start applying. So then I went through the process. I applied on the websites, heard back from a lot of schools, and then I picked Wilfrid Laurier University, the Lazaridi School of Business, which is where I graduated from. So I did 4 years in Waterloo, Ontario, which is in Canada. That was fun, except for the snow. That was the lava. It was fun. Yeah, and then after that, I started working. I'm still currently working. And then I heard about the podcast. Miss Sana told me about it, and I was super excited to come here and share my experiences with you guys and talk a bit more about how we got here and how it did.
So you flew to Pakistan for the podcast, right?
Of course, of course.
I wish that was the case.
Of course, no. Miss told me about the podcast before coming, and I was very much looking forward to it. You know, anything to do with Scarsdale, like I do it with my heart because I genuinely miss this place.
What he's trying to say is you flew for the podcast.
Yeah, basically,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So what's anyways?
So basically, we heard that you were the president for both SRC and NHS. And there were some really good speeches, right?
Yep, there were. Back then, we had to give speeches. I was at the time. NHS was one, and then SRC was one. Both were different, but it was fun to attend to both. Especially SRC because I loved our student affairs, and getting our events organized. I remember we did futsal festivals and different things, and we tried to bring about new things as well under the term, because presidency matters. And I was trying to leave a lasting impression. So yeah, I had a great time. I mean, from the campaign. From running against some of my best friends and then till winning. And I'd like to say that they've been here since kindergarten. I still won.
So before this podcast started, we were all discussing how we needed hotspot, and apparently on your speech, you promised that you would get us internet. It's been what, 6 years now?
I don't recall that. I don't recall.
It's been 9 years.
Has it been 9 years?
8 years.
When was he?
8 years. 8 years.
Sorry, my maths is bad.
We
But
can
8 years.
Why you shouldn't vote Aisha for?
So let me just clarify what's happening over here. Basically, right now we have our NHS and our SRC, but for our SRC we have another president and our vice president. I was going to run for vice president, but there were some clashes that we had, and so I couldn't get selected. It's a complicated story, but let's not get into that. But the point is, I'm still a class rep over there. For NHS, I'm the president currently. So we have one thing in common at least. And, yeah, but let me just clarify what is happening over here. So basically, as I said, I am in grade 12. They both are in grade 11.
Right.
My NHS presidency is ending by the end of December.
Okay.
So basically, technically we did close our chapter because we have done everything that we had to do already. So, but now the thing is that in January there will be elections for NHS. So there will be elections, and these two are both wanting to run for president, but one or the other will run, and as both are best friends, so one or the other has to, one will lose, obviously, one will run. So we will see what happens, what is going to happen. So that's the thing that is most interesting over here that's happening. So that's the backstory.
Well, I'd say have fun with it. When I ran for president, I ran against a very good friend of mine, and I mean, it was all love. And then I won, and I celebrated in his face. It was fun, So you have to enjoy that and have fun with it. I think these positions, they bring about a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and you get to interact with so many other of your students. So remember to have fun with it. Also obviously do the needful, but also have fun with it.
Honestly, that's true. Because we do go against our best friends. For me as well, my best friend, I went against him for, I think, NHS. NHS was not exactly against, but I could say for STEM club, I went against him. I lost. And he became the president. But honestly, I was happy for him. And then for one more thing, I think for last year, SRC vice president, we again went against last year SRC vice president, and he won last year again. So I was like, again, congratulations to you, but I was genuinely happy for him at that time as well. But right now with NHS, this time I was the president, I became the president, so I was happy about that as well. And for SRC, obviously that couldn't happen, or the VP, but that's still fine. That's how that
There's always the next.
But I kind of also took my cousin's position, which he still won't forgive me for. I got an ice cream. How about that? He's like, no.
I wonder why he's not happy about that. I wonder why he's not happy about the ice cream you gave him for the position you took.
Actually, the thing is, you came on time, right here. Exactly on 11. So I want to know if you were on time ever in your school.
That's the real question.
I would like to say that I always tried my best to be on time. Whether that happened or not is another story, but I always tried my best to be on time.
Would you stay back for all the classes? Attend everything?
I attended everything.
Definitely.
Of course. I attended all my classes. I attended all.
I think last time we were talking about bunking in our last podcast. Now,
Scholars students don't bunk.
Yeah, we don't bunk. We don't. We only do nashtas. What?
We just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we definitely don't make excuses that our back hurts.
I mean, okay, that was a genuine reason, okay, and I had back problems and it was hurting.
Yes,
But no.
back problems because.
Back problems I had, no, but I think at our times we do nashtas, like if we had a free period or something, then we'd sit with sir and be like, please let us go.
Chosen
please.
free period.
I mean, free-ish. Or if we're in a specific class, we just convince the teacher, be like, do you want to go for nashta? And then we'd eventually end up going for nashta, which was fun. I think I've had some of the best nashtas.
and now I have a question for you about subjects. So we got to know that you managed to switch AP Chem with art history in the middle of a semester. I'm gonna ask you how you did that.
Well, it was a tough journey. Okay, I'll say that. I took AP Chem and I realized that maybe it wasn't for me. I realized that a bit late, and I was in a bit of a situation. And coming back to Scarsdale, and that's one of the things that I love about Scarsdale is they really try and do the best for their students. I was very unhappy in that course, and I was like, okay, I want to take something else. I need to move over, and they allowed me to do that. I had some catch-up work to do, obviously, because I was coming in the middle of the semester. But all thanks to Miss Sana, she really held my hand and walked me through it. We got through our material, the first semester material and the second semester material in second semester. So that was good. And I think that, honestly, I think that was one of the best decisions I made, because the memories that I made after that with Miss Sana and all of our other, all of the other classmates was something else. Because I feel like if I had not done that, maybe we would not have been where we are today. So I think it was, in hindsight, a great decision.
As I have a follow-up question for you after this. Okay, how many APs did you take in American high school in your time?
I took AP Cal. I took AP Bio. I took AP Physics. I took. I did AP World History, but I didn't do it from Scarsdale. I did that from my school in Qatar. So
Yeah.
4 APs I took. But I on that note, I would like to add, taking APs really helps, because जब मैंने अपने 4 APs दिए थे, so when I went to university, I got 4 credits for my APs. So they converted into elective credits, And so then I didn't have to actually take those. So my first year, I had Fridays off every week because I took those APs, right? And Friday, I didn't need to take any other electives, so my day was free. So I had 4-day weeks in university. So I think AP is actually a hack. I think everybody like who's listening to the podcast and everybody who's here, like if you're into American high school, like, and if you are a part of that system, you should try and take AP. It will help you in your college path for sure.
Was there like some difficult AP that really made you lose your mind?
Honestly, each one. Okay. Each one, I won't lie, but I think AP Bio mostly because AP Bio was a little bit more, the content was so specific. You had to know, the structure of mitochondria, and it was not. You're right. It wasn't just the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It was how does it produce that?
We did that in Bio 1.
Yeah.
We did that in Bio 1.
Yeah, I mean, okay, did you? Really? What is the structure of mitochondria?
It was in Bio 1, that was a year ago.
Is that why you don't remember it? Yeah, exactly. Take AP Bio.
Also for AP Word, was there still the bald guy on YouTube who taught AP Word? Did he exist?
I don't know.
His name was Heimer.
I think I was too young for YouTube back then because I took it like back in Doha. So I was.
Do you remember anything from AP Word?
I remember. Whoa. Good check. No.
That means I'm gonna lose all.
But I did get a 4. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I did get a 4. So
Hoping
it's.
for a 5.
I mean, yeah.
4 is good.
Everybody should aim for a 5, but yeah.
4 is really good. Acha, I have one more question, slightly off Scar still and studies. What is the reason behind your beautiful laugh? I want to know this. I want to. What is the reason?
I think it's just a family thing. Like, if you ever like meet my brother or my family, if you ever sit with us and we're in a room, it's very loud. This just runs in the family. We all have this very distinct, loud laugh, and it just translates. Or kabhi hum ikathe baith jate, everybody's like, "Oh my God, is kamre mein kya ho raha hai?" Like, it's so loud. But no, yeah, it is a bit loud.
That is interesting.
खुल के हंसना चाहिए.
खुल के हंसना, genuinely, yaar.
Yeah.
You were gonna ask something else.
Me too.
I wonder. Acha, we have one more question. Pehle, let us show you one thing we have. This is the yearbook of your guys' graduation. I think you guys can take out the picture.
Should I take it out?
Picture. Cut.
God, what is this picture?
Oh, pehle, acha. Go. Acha, how about? Acha, basically this is the picture. We're gonna have a close-up of it in the podcast as well.
Okay, we'll have to close up.
So this is basically the picture, and I think you should. I should ask it.
Wait, I really want to know about this picture, like in black and white. What's the story behind this? Why is it surrounded by so many people? People?
Oh, there's
Women.
okay. I just saw the picture on the left. Oh wow, this was actually a birthday. I think this was. I'm not sure, but this was either Mehak's birthday or a friend of ours called Golok's birthday. We were at some rooftop and we were all just there. To answer the question of why I'm standing with so many women is because I've had a lot of women friends. I think growing up also, even some of my best friends today, they're women, and also guys. Yeah, I think that's why the presence of them is seen more in my pictures. And I have been made aware before as well by my mother, and she does tell me कि इस तरह मेरा रिश्ता नहीं होगा, but it's okay. We still search.
असल में ना देखें ये बात I can agree with you कि इसमें कि ऐसे हो जाता है. दोस्त होते हैं, people are friends better. Justification. सबर करो.
You got on the podcast.
Thank you, Jahan. Thank you.
नहीं जानते. आई को पहली दफा मिले.
मैं आज पहली बार मिल रही हूँ यहाँ पे.
देखो आयशा मेरे से मिली है पहली बार, ठीक है ना. वी डोंट नो, शी डजंट एसोसिएट विद मी, ठीक है. द थिंग इज शी डजंट एसोसिएट विद मी. वी आर acquaintances, ठीक है ना. वी नॉट इवन, हाँ, वो बहुत दूर. Before even the podcast started, before our first episode, I said one thing. I said, Aisha, I'm gonna sit at that corner, you're gonna sit at that corner, you're not gonna be near me anywhere in any episode of the podcast, ठीक है. So we're just acquaintances. A follow up.
I don't know him either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we friends here?
He acts just like my brother, actually. there's some guys in our school who just act like my cousin. And so that all of them just seem like bhai.
That's good. That's good to have a good support system.
अच्छा भाइयों से मुझे याद आया वैसे एक मिनट भाइयों से मुझे याद आया इन सब के आप भाई लगे हैं क्या
सब बहनों का एक ही भाई
सब बहनों का एक ही भाई साथ ही साथ बिल्कुल अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अभी तक मेरा ये हाल नहीं हुआ शुक्र है
लेकिन very happy with also me मतलब ये सारे मेरे दोस्त हैं my god could you imagine if one of us got married we'd kill one another it would never work but no all सब very good friends still in touch with actually everybody in that picture
I think we're waiting I think they're waiting actually the day you get married
I know me too
I think your wife will want to see that picture
I know I have to clean up my Instagram
yeah
I will do a deep dive yeah
Out of the podcast?
yeah
Don't deceive me.
in the podcast
Out of
We don't say that. We don't say that.
the
Actually, we just talk.
let's talk to your Instagram as well yeah
who gave you access it's private
बहुत interesting था.
I think I have to remove some people what did you guys
By
think
the
about
way,
Instagram?
this year, how do you think the yearbook's design was? This actually don't answer that.
controversial.
Don't answer that. I actually really love this yearbook. When we were planning our yearbook, this was the yearbook. This is the yearbook we look for inspiration.
I think more than the cover, what matters is what's inside. So many pictures, so many memories. I mean,
I think he's talking about himself right now I think he's talking about अंदर से जो the great Jahan Khan is there you know
So, considering the memories in this yearbook, are there any specific ones that you would want to target which happened, in this year? Leaving out the stories that we'll get to later.
so many. My God, so many. Wow, so many actually. Now that I look back at it, our senior prank was very good. We had a great time. Yeah, we filled the entire entrance with just cups with little bits of water, and then we also got to spray the teachers. I think I might have sprayed Miss Sana. I'm not too sure. Maybe not. I don't know. And then we had water guns as well, so that was fun. Many memories. Like I can't like pinpoint one. So many times on the field, we've had so much fun. Everywhere, honestly. Senior lounge was a vibe. I don't know if you guys still have that.
They took it from back.
They took it away.
They kept us alive.
Behave नहीं करते ना आप लोग. मैंने सुना है the new generation of Scarsdale is not so polished. What is this?
More than you guys, for sure.
Is it now?
My sister was in the school during this time.
Yeah.
मैंने कहानियाँ सुनी हैं.
Right?
Sit down only to sleep.
Oh, please.
Mattresses.
Yeah, there were.
What are you pointing at? What are you saying? They also use it for sleeping.
ये बेचारे सोते ही थे.
I think the senior lounges as Aisha said were only used for sleeping ठीक है
Sleeping and just, if you don't want to, I don't know, maybe just if you have a free period or anything like that. So many other things though. I think senior lounge
what are the
was
things
good
I would want to know I think we all would want to know what other things the senior lounge was used for
Many
other than sleeping
I don't know. I have a video at one point. Somebody threw like an eraser at me, and then it hit me, and then I, obviously I had to take my revenge, and then it was just chaos. And then I was running over the sofa, so a lot of that happened. And just, I mean, also, हमारे time पे senior lounge के AC was very good. Okay, so like वहाँ बैठने का सुकून था.
Wait, where was the senior lounge?
It was the first room on the third floor in that building on the right. Right, where Sir Latcher's office is? Or used to be, high school coordinator office?
Yeah.
उसके बिल्कुल ऊपर वाला room.
I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about
उसके बिल्कुल ऊपर
yeah
वाला
I know
room. Yeah, that was our senior.
so actually that is a good room I think I remember the last year's senior lounge was basically in the same hallway at the end towards the right
Yes, वो हमसे एक साल पहले था.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were-
That senior lounge was the senior lounge for last year. But this year we got the senior lounge as library. We used it a little bit, but for some various reasons and क्या बताऊँ मैं आपको some reasons the senior lounge was taken away from us and क्या कर सकते हैं हम we're just suffering वैसे भी
Oh no.
plus free time में usually I have personally myself one free class and in that free class as well I'm all over the place like in school all over I think some of my teachers would also agree to this that I'm seen everywhere in school and
Ayan is going around everywhere.
Once we were discussing like पता नहीं अयान अब आ जाएगा कुछ ऐसे
And he's just okay.
Ayan's like scary like that.
No,
यहाँ चला आ जाता है.
Even times when he has classes, he's still roaming around the whole school. I don't know what he's doing.
He's probably keeping check.
Yeah, keep
He's
it
keeping check.
Har
Har khabar par.
I was okay. Yeah. Moving on.
Oh, maybe she was going to expose him.
It's okay. अब मुझे कोई इतना expose कर नहीं सकता.
ऐसा क्या है जो expose करने वाला?
I don't think people. देखो people. अच्छा मेरे बारे में कोई expose ज़्यादा कुछ कर नहीं सकता क्योंकि the thing is कि people they think they know stuff about me but they know the unimportant stuff about me.
Smart.
Podcast में ये कुछ कहने के लिए तैयार है, which means he's trying to hide it.
Smart, very smart.
He's trying to hide it. तुम भी छुपाने की कोशिश कर.
Only tell them what they need to know.
He doesn't tell them we know ना. It's a
You only know what you need to know. Exactly. And he needs to be the judge. I love that. ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. Exactly. Yeah. I think I follow that.
Exactly.
Mantra in life.
Exactly. देखो we tell people, we show people the side that we want to show them.
Yes. So choose wisely.
Different personalities with each friend. Like, what?
Don't let them mix.
Wait, what?
You have different personalities.
Yeah, that's true. I have different personalities with all of my friends. And at times it gets clashed and they're like, huh?
Asha, how about this? Can you share your initial impressions when you first arrived at Scarsdale? How did it compare to your previous educational experiences? As you said, you were in Qatar, so what was the comparison to Qatar and Scarsdale?
I think so. When I was in Qatar, I was at the American School of Doha. It was a much larger school in terms of just landmass. They had a lot more land and a lot more sections and a lot different areas for everything. So I think that was different. It was just a bigger school. So coming down to Scarsdale, it was a smaller school. And at first I was like, okay, like maybe this is, I don't know if it's for me or not because it was so small. Like as we know, our school is not that big. But as I got into it, I remember I gave my interview and I spoke in my interview and I was talking about it. I was like, okay, I was realizing, this is something different. And then when I started to actually go through class, I realized the smaller class size was actually better. I actually got to connect with my teachers as opposed to when I was in ASD, we had 43 kids in each class. So obviously, naturally, the teacher has just enough time to focus on the whole class, not on each kid. So I think that's how it was very different for me. Coming here, I had a lot more one-on-one time with the teachers, which was great.
Okay, I want to add one thing to this. I have actually been in many schools as well, personally as well. I came to Scarsdale in grade 7. So before that, I have been to many schools and I have actually noticed this thing as well. Because I used to be before in LGS JD Jordan branch. And before that, LGS 14. The thing is that those schools had like huge classes. They had like 30 people in each class, in each section of a class. And there were 6 sections. That's like 180 students per class.
Yeah.
A lot of students. I have noticed this personally as well. The smaller the class there is, the better the teacher to student relationship is, and the way we learn is so much better. So I can personally vouch for the same thing as well. It's so true with this thing that the class size matters a lot.
Now we have another special guest, the most greatest, legendary,
And my
amazing.
favorite.
I think what Zainab is trying to say is that we have the most awaited person coming to our podcast, the one and only Mr. I think we have the one and only Mr. Romel Lillard over here, our principal. Can we have a round of applause for him now?
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Sir, you're gonna have to speak in the
Have a
mic.
seat, please.
Sir, you're gonna have to speak in the mic so you can take
Oh,
turns
I
to
have
speak.
to.
Yeah, it's on.
So basically what Ayan was trying to say is that we have you here. And he was also dragging it too much. But basically.
Okay, that's great.
ये कहने के लिए
It's my pleasure to be here. Before we start, I would like to just put something here. I don't know if it will remind some memory to this boy here.
I thought it was
So I put it here like that for everyone to see, and let's see if it will stay till the end of the podcast. So, maybe we would like to know more about what the orange is all about. Jahan, maybe you want to talk about this?
What's your favorite food?
It's time to come clean now.
I can't believe you're gonna make me do this on social media. So yes, as Sir Latcher put the orange there, there was a time when I was a kid and I was hungry and I had not brought lunch or something had happened and I don't know what had happened, but I saw an orange And, I thought to myself, obviously the hunger took over my thought process, and I thought that maybe I could just eat it, and I might not have asked permission from its rightful owner at the time, which I should have done, and I didn't. And then I decided to, peel the orange. And so I peeled one orange, and my friend walks in from the other room, and she's like, "Did you eat our orange?" Or I think it was Miss Tamara's orange. "Did you eat Miss Tamara's orange?" And I was like, "Maybe." Like, I didn't eat it. I just opened it. Like, I just started. And she's like, and so Miss Tamara was walking down the hall as this is happening, as I'm in her room, right? So, and Samin, the girl who saw me, she walks out, and we're trying to walk out. She walks out, and I'm just like behind her holding the orange. I'm like, "Please let me cover this. Let me cover it." And then she turns around, and she's like, "Miss Tamara, he stole your orange." All right? I was like, No, I didn't steal it. Well, maybe I did, but I was just so hungry.
Did you ever get to eat the orange?
I didn't. I had to give it back, मुझे अफसोस सी बात का है. I had to give it back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Yeah, and then it was bad because then it was obviously I took her property without her permission, and she was unpleased with that. Then me and Sir
That's very wrong.
But I want to say the best part of this story. The best part of this story was not the fact that it happened. The fact that Sir Latry found out, and he, he's a busy man. He's always, running around and making sure that everything's how it's supposed to be. And that day I added to his schedule, right? By this orange story. And I remember clear as day, I walked downstairs into his office, he summoned me and I'm there. And he's like, "Beta, I have so many problems. I have so many problems." And then there's the story of the missing orange. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't. Why are we talking about a missing orange?" And then I realized what had happened. I apologized to Sir, and I was like, "I'm really sorry. This is a mistake." And I apologized to Miss Tamara also, and I made sure that I do that. And then the next day I got her oranges from my garden, which is good.
He made amends and eventually fixed the issue. So it looks as a joke now, but it was a big deal at that time. I had a teacher in my office, really upset. And I had many other things to do. But the case of the stolen orange was eventually solved. And eventually made it up the next day, which was definitely a good thing. So that's why I brought the orange. I was thinking, when I think of that, I just think of Jahan. I can still see him in my office. And whatever he said was right. That's the way it took place. But Samin here was not very, very nice to you.
No. I meant like you called me downstairs to your office, and I was like,
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I should go." And I think you called me the next day the next day I was off, and then you called me the day after.
Yes.
And then a friend of mine called me. Called me Waleed, and he's like, "Oh, Sir's looking for you." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, the orange." And I was like, "Oh my God, okay, sure." And then I went to school the next day.
It's true. So nothing is too small to deal with, and that's what it is. But now we are laughing, but it's fun. That's why, for me, the symbol is very important.
So thank you, sir, for telling the world about it.
Now, I hope Miss Tamara is watching.
Yeah.
And eventually, she
I'm
can
sorry,
do that.
Miss
We have
Tamara.
a public apology right now.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do it then. I did not mean to do it. I'm so sorry. I was just so hungry. Sorry.
We can excuse him. I think the time is gone, right? That's fine, definitely.
Definitely a great memory.
It's great to have you here.
It's
Great to have you here.
It's great to be
It's been
here.
a long time. I believe you spoke to my students.
Yes.
And I'm sure they have asked lots of questions.
Yes.
And I hope you didn't share too many naughty things.
Of course not. I tried to filter what I needed to filter.
Something must stay in the past, okay?
Of course, sir. Don't worry.
Eventually copy that.
I know. That's why I'm trying to think in my head. What am I to say and what am I not to say?
I can still get after you, so be careful of that.
No, of course.
So sir, वैसे right now we just got to know that the batch of 2016, Jahan's batch, actually had the senior trip. They had the senior lounge, and one more thing, they had the senior prank. I'm wondering, as us seniors over here, we haven't done even one of these things. So what does the school have to say about that? That's an interesting.
They had good aces too.
Oh, all right, okay.
No, the ACs were not good.
They had
We will talk about the ACs right
they
after.
had good aces in the senior round.
Okay, just hang on about the ACs. We have many things to discuss here. All right. Okay, so then it turns against me right now. I can see that the podcast has taken a different flavor now.
So also for next year. After him, also for us.
He
Oh,
brought
okay.
Cooley.
So it's a 2 years fight. All right. Okay. So let me come clean about this as well. It was a different time, and COVID came, and COVID changed everything. So we cannot do that because of social distancing, obviously. So that's the main reason here. You see, so I'm sorry, but it's all because of COVID. Does that make sense?
So you can't use COVID to cover this up.
I think he's right, and the world has really changed. And I think that obviously being in a closed room like that is not, is not favorable. So wear your masks and have some distance, you guys. It's not the same time. It's a different world. Okay, that's all.
Sir,
I got you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, okay, so don't you think that we're going against the guidelines right now?
What guidelines? Who sets the guidelines?
We have.
Who sets the guidelines?
Oh,
Looking at the guidelines.
okay. Basu mein aa gayi hai.
So it's a no.
So we're gonna get our senior room tomorrow?
I didn't say no, I said it's COVID.
So I don't care about them. What about us? Maybe.
Next year there'll be less COVID. Inshallah.
Well, don't say that because now. So, I'm not sure, but COVID has changed lots of things. It was a different time, and they were good kids.
That's what I said, sir. I told
But
them.
that's what I can understand. We're good kids.
See,
I'll
that.
see.
Also good debaters.
Well, I can always consult Jahan next year.
I think
Based on his feedback, you see, I give the whole quotation. Based on his feedback now, we'll decide accordingly, right?
For sure.
I think, sir, for now, we should talk about the batch that is currently the graduating batch, the grade 12's batch, not the grade 11's younger junior batch. Okay, and we should consult Jahan, of course, as a man to man. You would also,
Yeah.
you would also agree with us.
Okay, wait. I can't say that.
Well, Jahan would tell you, and I speak on his behalf because I know him very well. Jahan was a very dedicated student. It was all about college preparation, getting the GPA, not missing one school day, coming on time every time, in the right uniform. The shaving was
So I think
top-notch.
Bobby talked about him being on time.
So he led by example, and I'm sure he would tell you the same thing. Jahan, please don't disappoint me.
On time? Sir, he's already disappointed you. I think
sometimes the time is just sometimes I would
The time
traffic
is
in
not the
Lahore
time.
is so bad and stuff like that.
But I thought it was different time.
I love it.
The reason he's here is because he's, a good student.
Yeah, I would like to believe. I would like to believe.
Okay.
So, this matter is closed now, right? We can talk about something else.
So can we talk about the senior prank?
Okay. Alright, so I can start with that.
For sure, please.
So we have to understand one thing, that whenever I was in high school, I was always opposed to the senior prank, because for me it was a real headache to deal with the preparation and the consequences, because it's all about this eventually. So in this year, which was 2015-2016, because it's class of 2016, so they approached me, and as always I say, guys, I don't want to do anything with that, so don't even talk to me, talk to the principal, which was Miss Luvaldi. And they went to Miss Luvaldi, Jahan the first, being always in the forefront when it's about not so good ideas.
He was a good student.
So, and he convinced Miss Luvaldi.
Yeah.
And believe me or not, she was much better than I am now. She gave them totally the whole access to the school. And she told them, you do what you want to do, you have my blessing. And then she called me. I said, Miss Wally, are you sure? Because me, I'm out of that. Whatever happens is on you, Miss Wally, not on me. Everything gets broken, whatever, is on you. Oh, don't worry, nothing will get broken. Okay, that's fine. So it was after school. They came in the night, and they started setting. You might have seen this very famous picture. We have a 2016 written with the red cups, and everything with the white cups and filled with water. This is a cute one. But what the story doesn't tell you is that when they were setting everything, they broke the big glass door that we have at the reception. And guess who did he call? Say, sir, we have a problem. He didn't call Mr. Ali, it was 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. He called me. And I said, but I don't want to do anything with that. He said, please, sir, please come. So my wife was behind. She said, please, let's go help them. So I brought my wife along. I said, you come with me now. And we went, and the big glass door next to the reception area was totally down.
How did that even happen?
How do you
Well-
manage that?
How do you manage to bring
How do you manage to
Please talk about this now.
For sure. So if you guys saw the picture, we put those cups, right? So we had to fill the cups. We couldn't just leave the cups
course.
empty, right? So we had to fill them just with like a little bit of water, so when it falls, it might get a little bit wet. And somebody had dragged in a pipe from the main entrance. I forget. It was either I don't know if it was either Essen or Valid, but somebody had dragged in a pipe, and the pipe came from under the glass door. So when naturally when the pipe got pulled or it got like jerked, the glass shattered, all of it. And when it shattered, we were all in disbelief. Like for the first 5 seconds, I was like, this is a lie. This didn't happen. I'm just like this. And I'm going and touching. I'm like, no, oh my God, there's no door here. And I was like, oh my God, there's no door here. And I'm just at this point, it was Essen because I remember he was panicking. He was just like, broke the door. I broke the door. I was like, okay, well, relax. To call Sir Latching, we'll figure it out, And then that's exactly what we did, I was like, I called Sir Latching. I was like, please help. Like this has happened. But we were able to get the glass and everything cleaned up. And then it was a two-part thing. So we did the cups thing. That was like on this floor, right?
So you still did that.
We still did that, yeah.
Even
Of course.
after
Well,
all
hey,
that?
we already put so many cups down. It was half the work was done. We just had to fill it.
And you already broke the window, so
Yeah,
the
that was.
damage is also done.
I am very apologetic about that door. It should not have broken. It should not have broken.
So
I
basically,
know that it's Essen the guilty, right?
Yeah.
And now it's Essen.
Essen, I'm coming after
Essen
you.
is, yeah, he's here too. I'll bring him to you. Don't
It's
worry.
never too late for reparation.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
so basically, it was a double prank. Technically, it was a double prank: a prank on the school and a senior prank as
The
well.
prankers got pranked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
one prank was
Everything
like
is here,
that.
so you can charge him all of this, that?
Yeah, that's Essen, I'm coming to you. So,
Get him.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you do that, yes.
Get the money and then use it. Give us his trip.
I don't think the door will pay for your trip. You'll need some more in this economy.
I think you guys should break some more doors.
Interest. Interest.
Interest, yeah.
What? 8
Yeah.
years? Interest.
I mean, sure, yeah. Yeah.
So the senior trip is something that is always a possibility. And our Jahan didn't go. We didn't go to Dubai. But I guess they went with Miss Rahat. It was a batch of, there was Asifa, there was Sho, there was Walid. I'm not quite sure who else. Usman Nawaz also. Usman Nawaz was there. So anyway, they organized it by themselves. It was all set up. The parents gave permission. So for my current graduating batch, if you guys want to organize a senior trip, if it is properly organized and your parents, we have the consent and everything, I don't have any objection to that. The same way last year I had no objection, they just couldn't work it out. So the same thing is open to you. So you see, I'm not that bad of a principal. I say yes
Like the
sometimes.
idea.
And sometimes I say no, but I say yes sometimes.
So, sir, one more thing I want to ask is that technically, so now as you are the principal for the senior prank, we should actually come to. I think you should expect us, some people. I think me, Ryan, definitely, and some of other students from our class coming to your office discussing about some senior prank. Because I think we should definitely, as a principal, you should also give us like full access to the whole school till night. To set it up. Definitely, we will not break like a door. Maybe no promises.
They
but-
didn't want to break the door either. It wasn't part of the task to-do list, It wasn't.
We'll try not to break something. We'll try.
But my office door is always open for you guys, and it is not broken yet. So you feel free to come and
Yes.
discuss the matter with me, and then we'll talk about it. Yes. You wanted to add something on that?
Like I'll say one thing, like if as long as you are like whatever you're doing, and if you pick up after yourself and you're making sure that nothing in the school gets damaged. Like I remember we did the cups and we picked them up as well, like to make sure that there's nothing left behind. It was a dirty like prank in the sense there were so many cups, so we like got plastic bags, we picked it up. So as long as I think if you come with a plan and you tell them, sir, this is what we want to do, this is how we're going to clean up, and we're going to make sure nothing goes wrong, I think he's a very logical and reasonable man.
I think I agree with him. Definitely, we should actually clean up after the senior prank because we are the ones actually organizing it, and nobody else should be responsible for it.
Yeah.
Only we should be responsible. But the idea of pranking someone is really good.
Yeah.
So I think we might not prank the principal. I mean, we can't promise anything, but let's see what happens. Sir. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm all okay with that. Yes.
Student art, as a principal, we've discussed this before, is quite involved in all of our lives. And so I'm sure you guys also have quite a story. So let's hear it.
Oh yes, no doubt, because I recall very well when Jahan came to our school from Qatar, and it took time for him to adjust. It's not an easy thing. Often we take it lightly when the kids come from a different school, never mind a different country. We take it very lightly. The kids will adjust very quickly. It's not always the case. Pakistan has its own challenges, and to adjust in Pakistan when you come from abroad is already difficult in itself. And our school, to me, is a bit special as well. It has its own culture, its own mindset. So once you get to understand it, then you navigate the process very quickly. But some of the kids don't. It's not the case about Jahan. But the beginning was difficult, if you remember well. The time to adjust was tricky for him. But quickly enough, and we maybe bounce on that as well, quickly enough he found the right company. I believe someone like a Guruk played a big part in your settling as well at school. So tell us more about how did you find Scarsdale and what was your first impression when you came here?
Yeah, for sure. I think my first impression when I came here was I was like I explained earlier about the size of the school, because I came from a very big school, and in my head, I was like, okay, this is a different zone here, a different scenario, and also the smaller classrooms. Like at first, I was a bit daunting because it was like the teacher was right there and there was less kids, so it was like the teacher was
escape,
Yeah, like it was just yeah. But then over time, I actually started to enjoy that, because I got to actually build a relationship with all of my teachers, honestly, and I still keep in touch with them. And they're that also helped me like in my learning, because they was able to give us more time. They were able to actually teach the material and let it transfer, and let our sponges actually absorb it. And I think that's where I think I found my way. And then finding the right people, like Sir said, Golruk, Farheen, all these
yes.
Farheen, Essen, Tazbiya, so many. If I start naming them, but yeah, eventually I found my way and I started to adjust to conditions here, and obviously moving back, and then I realized I needed more time. Like I needed a lot more time. I every time I say this about Scarsdale, I really wish I had come sooner. I think I came very late, but such is life.
And then quickly enough, he really became involved into the school's business and dealings as well. And he went into the SRC.
Yeah, that was
He
fun.
went into the NHS as well. So I'd like to talk about your presidency, because as a real politician, there were lots of promises and lots of discussions, but not everything came concretely to happen. So, Mr. Jahan Shan, I would like to ask you, as a president, you promised the school to upgrade the air condition, for example,
I did.
as well as the internet connection.
I did.
It was in his campaign speech. He got elected based on that. I kid you not. So now it's time for the answer. So what do you have to say about this promise of yours?
I think, thank you.
I think as you said, that every politician they have their ways to get to where they need to be, and I think I brought forth some very good points. We needed new ACs, we needed new internet, and I think what I did as a president was actually enable us to uncover and identify the problems that we have that we need to take a look at, and I think I raised a voice for it. But obviously, there are voices that are bigger than me and had a bigger say in it than I did. But I promise you, as the people, I promised the people of my class that I tried my best. Even if I look back, I talked to Sir, I talked to everybody. Nobody listened to me. How do you? Strangely enough, I tried to speak to everybody, and I fought for all of you. So please, I think, but yeah, it just didn't happen, and that's okay. Maybe next time. Sometimes.
People in the comments are gonna write, no, that did not happen.
That didn't happen.
It still not happened. Yeah.
We should rename this episode. He promises he hasn't given.
I mean.
Yes, yeah, no.
I mean, yeah.
So what's interesting? This can tell you exactly that he is from Pakistan, because the thing is, if you notice closely in that speech, he says that he will do those things, and then later he says that he just highlighting those things for the next people to come back and actually implement, The highlighting part is very important.
And maybe I should commend you for bringing awareness.
Thank you.
Because before Jahan, we never felt too hot.
Yeah. I think Jahan was the reason you guys felt so hot.
Before Jahan, we barely knew what internet was. When he came and the light came to us as well. And it was crazy. So I'm grateful, and again, in public, to all our viewers. I'm really thankful for you.
He brought the American into our
Brought this awareness, so that's That's definitely crazy. But there are many things we could discuss, obviously. But what I liked about him is that he really cared about the school. And he wasn't there for 4 years in high school, he spent just 2 years. But he truly cared for the school. He truly wanted to improve the school. He also really wanted to drop AP chemistry and AP biology. He really wanted to drop those subjects very, very clearly. And he successfully dropped one, which is AP chemistry. So if Dr. Fariha is watching, she needs to know that eventually he dropped what she is teaching currently. And I would like to tell the story about this because Jahan, eventually, he has always a master plan. He knew that he didn't want to take AP chemistry, not because he couldn't do it, but he didn't want just to do the work and everything. So he came to me and I said, no, Beta, we cannot drop subjects, it's AP and blah, blah, blah. You know, I said that to all of you still. And he said, oh, come on, sir, let's try. I said, okay, let's do something. Let's go to see the principal, Mr. Wali. And you talk, I'll be next to you, but you talk and you try to convince her and I will support you. And that's where he went. And he wanted to drop AP chemistry, guess for what?
Art history.
Art history.
We know about the story.
You know about the story,
We
okay.
know about the story.
So then you know about this. So he played such an act on that day till he successfully cried. I don't know if he told you that, it is true. And you know, yesterday when you came to me, after that I looked into my old files and I looked at the decision file that I had still when he dropped the subject. And I wrote as a comment, he placed a great act, and despite Miss Lualdi's best judgment, she agreed on letting him drop AP chemistry. And then what did he do? He went to art history. And Miss Sana was a very happy recipient of Jahan because he had to catch up the work. And then the story between the two of them started like that. So,
Good advice for us.
well,
If
it
I
shows,
need something, we cry
it
for
shows,
it.
yeah, I mean, it shows motivation, consistency, and he's really, really dedicated. When he has a goal in mind, he tried everything he could to reach that. So I commend him on that as well. But it was a funny time. And for AP biology, if Dr. Rivka is watching us,
Yeah, she's watching.
the extra assignments were done in my office. Remember?
I do.
Remember
I
that?
just remembered.
You see?
Oh my God, yes.
On the table next to mine.
Yes.
And Farhin and him and I don't know who else was there.
Only Saim. Yeah.
Oh, Saim.
Saim,
Well,
yeah.
Saim never complained really,
Yeah.
but Farhin and Jahan,
Yeah.
oh my God, every single time they had to tell me, sir, we're going to drop AP biology. We're going to do this and this and that. And they were back the next week with the same assignment to do, and they still had to do it, right?
Still had to do it, yeah. I remember at that time we were so worried about the syllabus because it was lengthy, and we were like, okay, this is, and obviously the syllabus is lengthy because biology is a lengthy subject. And I remember me and Fareen were just looking at each other and be like, oh my God, how is this gonna happen? Are we gonna make it or not? But honestly, some of the best memories in that class, I think. And Ms. Rivka, if you're watching, I don't know if you know, when I was here for the 2 years, every Sunday I ran into Ms. Rivka at the grocery store. Like I would just always run into her. Somehow we'd shop at the same time. But no, yeah, some great memories.
You see, definitely. But it was a good time.
It was a
But
great
once again, the takeout from that is that his motivation, his consistency in being a pain. And keep on asking until you break is really commendable. It really, really is. So that's a. I think you still have this grit.
I think, yeah, I try and hold on to it. This is my one. This is the only one thing I have.
Don't let it go.
I'm trying my best to hold on to it.
You can ask the last question.
So basically, now that we talk about some memories, I would really want to know if you had like a favorite teacher and like interaction with them.
Do you really want to ask me this question?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so.
You can name a few.
Yeah, you can name a few.
I don't know if
You
I
can name a
can.
few to save yourself.
Okay, can I say a few?
Okay.
Okay, well, honestly, I really had a very nice and special bond with every teacher that taught me here. So, honestly, choosing is very hard. But if I was really to put my mind to it and think, I would start with Miss Sana. I think she is somebody who I connected with on an individual level as well as for her being my teacher. She spent some great times with me. Art history was so much fun. And one thing that I love about Miss Sana is she is our teacher, but she's also a friend, and she strikes that balance really well to the point where we always know that when I was in her class, work was work, but friend was friend, and she's always managed to still stay in touch. We still talk, so love Miss Sana for sure. Miss Priha, had some great times with her in health. Some of the best times in health, I think. And I think I would not want to learn health from anybody else but Miss Priha. And I would take her phone in the middle of class and take like 10,000 pictures of myself. So I'm sure she has those in her gallery. Had some great times there. Some good nashtas, as I was talking about earlier. Sir Rahmat, I think he was one of the teachers who was very passionate about his material, chemistry. And looking at him, like his passion, excited me too. Like I took chemistry. Well, what was chemistry 1, chemistry 2, and then AP, right? Yeah, I took Chem 1 and Chem 2 with him. And I think honestly, like, I don't think I've ever seen a teacher who was more passionate about their material, more passionate about chemistry itself. And that really was one thing that I respected about him. So we got those. And I have to say Miss Manya, because she inspired my college decision. I took a business course with her. And I remember it was a turning point in my career because I actually wanted to be a doctor. And that's why I took AP Chem, AP Bio, AP Physics. But then I had a change of heart after I took business with her, and I realized I really want to do this. And Miss Manya really pushed me in that direction, and so many conversations with her before and after class about like what I'm feeling and what I should do, and she really guided me there. So I think that was great. And I hope I'm not.
Dr. Rifka.
Dr. Rifka, of course. I see her all the time. Dr. Rifka, and I have some great times. That was a fun class, and it was a very special class because there were 3 people in the class. Obviously we were all very close to her, so lots of fun there, trying to learn all the different RNA, DNAs, and whatnot. So lots of fun. Sir Amir, honestly, I can't pick favorites. Like there were so many. Sir Amir was great. I did AutoCAD with him. I had a great time with him. He's very learned about his topic. Knows how to explain really well, which is very good. Yeah, I think those would be my off the top of my head. But if I forgot anybody, I love you. I love you. Just in case. I'm sorry, it's my memory. It's not you.
Speaking of all of these amazing teachers, we actually have a little bit of a present for you, the infamous videos. So I think without further ado, let's.
Yep, for sure.
I think he's scared.
I am a little scared. I don't know what I'm looking at.
So basically, we had 3 teachers, and we interviewed them about you, Dr. Ifka, Dr. Priya, and Sir Amir. And we're gonna show them those videos, and I think they would also love to see your reaction to those
For
videos
sure,
as well.
for sure.
So, without any further ado, Miss, what is your favorite memory or any fun memory with Jahan?
Okay, now let me try and remember. Well, I certainly remember Jahan. I know he joined us in grade 12. And I remember because he got a 4 for AP Biology, so how can I forget him? One thing I do remember about him is that he's a very sweet, gullible boy. And in that year, in my AP class, I had 3 students. One was him, and there were 2 others who had come up through the school. And they egged him on to say, Dr. Ifka, you're teaching us too much. We don't need to know this much for AP Biology. And of course, because he was new, so they set him up and said, you go and tell Dr. Ifka this. So he came and he told me, Dr. Ifka, I think you are teaching us too much for AP Biology. We don't need to know any of this. Okay, so maybe I was a little bit upset. Who knows?
I'm so sorry.
So the very next day, he came with a written apology and a huge bouquet of flowers for me. So thank you, Jahan, and best of luck in everything you do.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you so much, and I think I definitely owed you those flowers and bouquets because I feel like I was out of line, and I'd like to apologize. It was all Simon Breen, though. It wasn't me. It was all them. It was all them.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. What is your favorite memory of Jahan Khan?
If I speak about Jahan, Jahan was a very special kind of student. When I joined, it was I think my 2nd or 3rd year at Scouts International, and Jahan was going to be graduated that year. And yes, he was very fun-loving student. And on a Desi Nashta event, I guess, we organized one Antakshari. And on that day, I found that he is the one whose list of songs is quite similar to my favorite songs. So after that, we were, quite good on the basis of music actually. So after that, we are still in touch on social media, obviously.
We send each other memes all the time
He's
on Instagram.
coming to Pakistan, and I'm very happy for him. And I wish him all the best.
Thank you. I had such good times in his class. Such good times in his class. I remember I was campaigning, and he would always let me talk about what I'm gonna do to all the kids. He'd be like, yeah, come in, let's talk about it. And he was so nice and he was so supportive. I would always just be like, okay, guys, please vote for me. I'll do this and I will make that happen. No, but some of the best times with sir as well.
Last we have Dr. Fair.
Dr. Oh yes.
What is your favorite memory of Jahan?
Walaikum Assalam. I remember Jahan as one of the most brilliant, intelligent student
I love you too.
with a smiley face, and always whenever he's around, he has very positive vibes, and he's sort of the person who works individual level as well, but he's a very good team player as well. And Jahan, I remember your incident with oranges. Hopefully, you remember that incident.
Everybody knows about it.
I have taught him only for the 1 year, but we had a very strong bonding during that year. We socialized. We went out for the dinners as well, and I miss you a lot. It was
I miss
pleasure
you too.
teaching you, and you are one of my darling students. Love you.
And you are one of my darling teachers. I think some of the best times with her. Her way of teaching, I think it was. She would always add humor to it, and she would always make it interesting, And that's she really brings that with her, and her personality and her charm. I think that really comes out when she's up there.
Our way of teaching is definitely amazing. I think we all
Yeah,
we
yeah.
take AP Chem with her,
Yeah.
and I've taken Chem honors. Yeah, so
Oh yeah. Okay.
it is. They're also taking Chem honors.
She's
and-
taking apes.
Yeah,
She
so
is really good.
Yeah.
She is good. It's fun. It's all
Yeah, back then, she used to have structure with it. We had topics, and I was always impressed by her structure making. It was very to the point. This is what you need to know. This is why you need to know. This is why it's important. So, with her, she was just an all-rounder, a great teacher, a great individual. Always had a great time with her.
Speaking of apes class, it's almost time for apes class.
Oh, wow.
So,
Hope I haven't kept you guys long.
No, that's great. It was a pleasure meeting you. But
Likewise.
just to end this podcast, I think we all have one question that we would like to ask.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, so you're here, so we want what advice you would give to the high schoolers.
Honestly, the one advice that I'd give to high schoolers here is to live, enjoy each every day that you have here. Because as a 26-year-old, when I look back at high school, I know.
Look one way here, so it's
As a 26-year-old, when I look back, honestly, that these times are some of the best times of your life. You guys are gonna remember the friendships, the bonds that you make here. Some will stick with you, and those will stick with you forever. So I really think that the time you have here, and especially for a school like Scarsdale, the support you have here, the teachers you have here, the environment, the students, try and make the most of it. I think we have some of the best teachers here who are not only just teachers inside this building, they're here for me whenever I've needed them, whenever I've reached out to them. So I think I would also advise, to build those relationships. They go a long way. Even today when I talk to Sir Dalad, or if I talk to Miss Sana or Miss Riha, it's one of the most heartwarming feelings. And I love it. So I'd say really enjoy that. And while you're enjoying, also try and, focus on the career part, because you do realize that this is going to go into university. So, we want to make sure that we're checking all the boxes. We're having fun. We're also doing what we need to do. And I think if you do that, I think there's no better place for you than Scarsdale to make the most of your time, because I think that's what the teachers are all about. It's to work hard, or play hard but work harder, or work hard but play harder. And I think that's what makes it unique.
So I think Jahan, this advice couldn't have been any better than this. And on that note, let's end this podcast. And I would like to thank. We all would like to thank.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you for your time, and thank you, Sir Dilatre. We know that you have a busy schedule. As
Thank you for taking time for us.
Thank you for your time as well.
I was very, very happy to be there. And I'd like to just conclude also on my special relationship with Jahan, because he came at a time where You see, I was promoted high school coordinator in the year 2013 or 2012, 2013. So he came in the year 2014, 20. So it was my second to third year, which is what we need as in anybody's job to get settled pretty much in what you do. So when he came, I was almost pretty much in control of what was happening, despite of course having Miss Luali as a very, very great principal and guiding light for me. But what I'm trying to say that I was getting a bit more confident in what I was doing, therefore I was able to build better relationship with the kids. And the bond we've had, because from him coming from abroad and all the different challenges that he has faced throughout, has really, really been possible thanks to him coming at this specific time and me being there after my 3 years of experiences. So this, and he remains to me a very special individual. He knows that. We often speak about this. We can speak for hours on any topics. And one last thing. Once I remember I got personally upset at him. I don't know if he remembers. Really angry at him. It was the day where he fooled us and the school and he left without permission. And he forged the signature. And that's bad. And on that day, I guess I sent him a message or something, say, "Beta, when you be back tomorrow, you'll be in my office." Or something like that.
How many times have you visited though?
Oh no, for this reason, only one time. But I was, and it's not a good thing, I'm saying it, personally angry at him. Because I cared so much for him. I said, "How dare you doing that to the school and to me?" And he was so apologetic, and eventually we laughed it out. But just to show the level of the connection that we've had. So I'm always glad to have Jahan at school. He's special to me, no doubt. And he will always remain, and he's in my prayers, and him and his family as well. So wishing him all the best. He's a great role model. I'm very glad he was in this podcast as well. So wishing you all the best. Thank you for coming once again. Thank you for being part of my journey as well. It was awesome.
Thank you for being part of my journey. Anytime.
That leads us to the end of our journey.
Eventually, yes.
Podcast, but we will be here soon after our exams. And so everybody's watching, please pray for us. And yeah, this was a great episode. Thank you so much, Sir Dalard and Jahan, once again for being here. It was such a pleasure to have this conversation, and I feel like it opened our eyes to a lot of high school stuff and things we can improve on personally. And yeah.
Starting from the AC, right?
Definitely.
And the internet. For
The
sure.
internet as well.
Next year, you guys should take over the mission. Do what I
Yeah,
do.
no problem.
Maybe he has some connection, or maybe he can guide you on the.
Maybe we could. Yeah.
Maybe you can give us the same speech you gave in SRC.
I mean,
Oh, definitely.
I'm here to help.
I think the next SRC members should like get notes, write notes, no?
exactly.
But they should implement this and the ideas already there.
Both.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And also we should also give a special thanks to Miss Sana for arranging this whole meetup because
She's sitting very
yeah,
nice.
she's been there the whole time, but she worked a lot for this. She worked really hard and it turned out really good. So on that note, let's conclude this podcast, and I think that is it for today, and we will see you guys in next episode, or which will be the episode 3 of our podcast.
Bye-bye.
So
Bye.
bye for now. I think
Bye now.
bye for
Bye.
now.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.